In today's video, we're talking about my wife's everyday carry gun. How's it going, guys? And welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. My name's Chad, and this is the Hopeful Homestead. You're out here right now with me at my little campsite I built next to my tiny cabin on wheels that I've parked out here on my family's 21-acre homestead that we're going to be building our forever home on here over the next 12 months. And in this series of videos, I like to sit out here or sit in my cabin with a cup of coffee and think that I'm talking to all the husbands and dads out there about all the difficult things in life. And today I wanted to share with you exactly what my wife carries as her everyday carry gun. We talk a lot about guns on this series of Coffee Talk, talk a lot about firearms, and many of you have been commenting because I've mentioned several times that my wife carries at our restaurant that we own. She's the one that actually does all the work there. She's actually the operator of that restaurant. I'm just the unofficial taste tester, and I do a lot of the odd jobs and handyman stuff around it. And it's a family business. And so as a result, I wanted her to be carrying something that was sufficient, for self-defense there when she's at work without me around. And she's like me. She's a much better shot with a revolver than anything semi-auto. And so in the name of that, for Christmas, I bought her a new gun that will be more than sufficient for, personal self-defense, and is actually something she's pretty proficient with. We took it out to the range here last week and put some rounds through it for the first time, and she hit every target she shot at. And when you see what it is, and you're gonna be surprised at I mean, for anybody, that's a pretty hard thing to do. It's just a really well-made gun, and it's really accurate, and she's a good shot. So definitely don't mess with my wife. All right, without any further ado, let's show you exactly what that gun is. It is the Cimarron Thunderer 3.5 inch. This thing right here, this little, not a snub nose, but it is a 45 Colt single action Army clone made by Cimarron, little 3.5 inch with a bird's head grip. And this thing, believe it or not, with just these little iron sights with this short little sight radius, is probably the most accurate pistol that we own. And she just puts rounds through it and hits steel like it's nothing from 20 yards, which is not exactly that easy to do with this little gun with these little sights. I'll never forget, everybody, we had a group of people out at the range from our restaurant that we were all plinking some steel, and she pulled this thing out and put her first shots through it and was just plink, 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 like no problem. And I was like, dang, all right. She's a great shot, and that's a great gun. But if you don't know anything about single action Army revolvers, this thing is, it's 45 Colt. It's single action in that you've got to cock the hammer to be able to pull the trigger. It is empty, as you can see. There's no rounds in there. I've talked a lot about single action revolvers on this channel. I love them. I think that they're really well made. They last a long time. They're just reliable. You can count on them. And being that this is 45 Colt, you're not gonna have a problem taking down a threat with that. Especially if this is something you're carrying on your person as just a personal defense weapon, some sort of threat that's within just a couple of feet or yards of you, this will do the trick, no problem. And like I said, she's a much better shot and much more proficient with this than she is with anything else, just like I am. For whatever reason, we're just better shooters when it comes to revolvers, single actions in particular. And as you can see on this gun, it's got a beautiful color case hardening finish. Nice wood grips, and the color case hardening is extended to the hammer, and it is just, it's got, nice pronounced sights. It's a really well made, really nice. You see they got the loading gate there, half cock the hammer. You can see how you look through there and see, where you load. It's just a really nice gun, and I'm really happy with it for her. She's a great shot with it, and yeah, it's a little heavy, but she keeps this in a holster. And when we're out here on the property, she keeps this in a holster on her hip. But when she's out and about, she keeps this in the holster and throws it in her bag, and she has a way to be able to protect herself if she needs to. And that gives me a little peace of mind when she's at the restaurant dealing with everything she's dealing with there. I can't be around all the time, and knowing that she's got a nice, heavy duty, powerful, 45 Colt revolver that she can take care of herself with, no problem. And now that we've shot it, I know that she's not gonna miss, that's for sure. But yeah, that's it. That's my wife's everyday carry revolver, my Christmas present to her this year. She was carrying a little Ruger LCP before that. That's something I carried a while ago that is just a piece of junk. You can't hit the broadside of a barn with it. It's incredibly inaccurate, and it jams all the time. And so I'm much happier with her carrying this, something that she's proficient with, that works well, you can count on. And you know what? This will be her little revolver that she carries as part of our homestead protection here when we're sitting on our porch and coming out to the fire pit as a family and stuff. When we're walking around our farm out here, she's gonna have this thing on her hip, and it's gonna suffice for the job at hand. And I love that. I love that about this gun. But I know some of you are gonna say, what the heck, man, give her something that's more capable than a single action. And I'll tell you that I don't have any problem with single actions. They're, especially these true Colt clones, these Colt single action clones, they're reliable, man. You know, Cimarron makes great guns. 45 Colt is more than capable at taking down two-legged threats. And you know, I'd rather have her be carrying something she's proficient with and knows how to use, you know, is confident with, versus some piece of crap gun that has more ammo capacity and is technically faster to fire. But, you know, she pulls that thing out and just lands one round on target, you're all right. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Coffee Talk. That's it. You guys finally see what my wife carries as her everyday carry gun. Again, my name is Chad. This is the Hopeful Homestead, and I hope you stick around and subscribe and follow our little journey as we're building our farm home and setting up shop here with a whole homestead operation. And if you feel like sticking around today, here's a video right here all about why I love wood and steel. When it comes to firearms, there's nothing better than wood and steel guns. So go click on that and I'll see you over in that video. Thanks for watching, guys.